たった一つたった一つのたった一人たった一人の私はここ
Reparations on the table, nigga, we ain't seen shit. Put us under pressure, nigga, we ain't even sweat. Came out shining like a diamond in the middle with some mess. On Martin Luther King, bitch, we coming for a check. Headed to the capital to stake my feelings in the mind of a radical. You can't ride with me. I'm my only witness when I handle my business. Pull it from their hips, say bye-bye, Billy. No more time for no coasting, I'm on the highway focused. I ain't even smoking, I'm just riding my emotion. Both eyes open, I'm just trying to keep calm. Put an extra set of eyes on them doing recon. Need deep in snow, say you try and keep going. Told him get up out the cold before my nigga deform. Every old wound seem to getting retorn. I'ma write deep poems to a nigga reborn. I'ma make a statement before I make it out alive. No Channel 5, I would rather make it live. Before the news try to make a nigga out alive. But the pain in my eyes on a much bigger prize. 5-0 on both hands in the sky. Little do they know it's no plan to survive. I ain't finna give them no chance to decide. I'ma put they feet in both hands in the fire. Dancing in the fire like Eshak. You gon' test the water, never get both feet wet. We done overexposed the city defense to the overexposure indecent. They don't know they diving in the deep end. Ain't no way that they surviving through the weekend. Everything blown in the flash like a beacon. Drowned in the flames, it's too late to let it sink in. Got 10 ways I can be vengeful. Sitting on 10 grenades, every last pinful. This guerrilla war, they don't know what they in for. I can hear them at the door trying to move in slow. I can hold them off, I got 3 shots. Taking every soul for at least 3 blocks. I can smell the fire burning through the sheetrock. Seeing bodies in the flame, nigga try and reach out. This is how you practice what you finna speak out. Thinking about the facts that they try to leave out. This is for my roots running through the deep south. Dying for a cause, what we finna beef out. If you ain't about the cause, what you finna beef out. Showing up deep, we gon' bring the streets out. Every man line up, showing what your street out. An independent state, what a nigga need now.
たった一人たった一人の
When it's moving through
dark side, dark side,
clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
They talked about Jesus, give them something to Babylon. Just know my whole team is battle tested and battle strong. One world speaking that Tower Babel tongue. Cole Hammurabi thinking ancient Babylon. No pun intended, Reaganomics had us under avalanche. We took off like a rocket, they was praying we could never launch into the upper echelon. You can never be yourself. Every day is Comic-Con, fast money Ramadan. Who collected Comic-Con? Cold check my vital signs. Motel 6 float. Woke up with the brightest mind. Out of sight, out of idle mind. They hate it when you idolize. We living in the final times. Guess you Ellen Keller blind.
Spirit when it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
Put my soul on the altar, I never offer a sacrifice. The blood that we need for the lamb ain't never acting right. I take my path tonight, knowing that I might have to fight. I probably grab a knife and a 9. I guess I'm packing light, focus on the now. Just as much as the afterlife, I recognize the spirit is only taking up half the fight. Stairway to heaven, He won't make it up half a flight. He working, making bacon, bitch. Probably out on the Sabbath night. Shoot for the moon, hoping to hit a satellite. You can ask him why when they see me, they call on Adonai. When we both know at the most he telling you half a lie. Feel the transition begin to happen when passing time. I came back in the sky just like an astronaut to say you selling Africans out. See you and asking Mike, and it's sad to say they really had it bad for Christ. And I hear the Habasha thinking they are the half is
Holy
white.
Spirit when it's moving through,
Dark side, dark side,
clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side,
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
Power to the dark side. Power to the dark side family. Damn, man, that's my shit. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. That is my shit. Like, I'm fucking with that. I don't know if y'all fucking with it. I'm fucking with it. Hella tough, though. What's going on, though, family? Power to the dark side. Definitely got to give a special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, Stimia, whose image is the most beautiful Whoopi Goldberg. Shout out to all my Babel builders that's in the building. Definitely, if you are listening to this, together we are Babel. Let's build. So what's going on? What's going on? So today is kind of like a little bit of a, just kind of want to kind of touch bases a little bit on, on basically, when we talk about Black independence or a Black independent state, I think often is it gets discussed as if it's no threat. And I think what people fail to realize is that globally, any type of Black unification globally that's for our own independence and control over our own raw materials of whatever land that we standing on. There was no way to get around that as being a direct threat to the current structure. What makes this system go, it isn't just our inability to control our raw materials and resources. No. It's our we're fascinated with the infrastructure that allows them to basically have ready-made products, right? And so we have an over-infatuation with ready-made products, and not enough of an infatuation with our own raw materials. And so this is where we have to be careful with how we entertain people and the different standards that we set, because the standards that we set also has some of these very people, they want they're standing, a lot of these people are standing on gold mines and diamond mines, but because of the way that we promote diamonds and gold, they not as focused on the natural raw materials that they standing on top of. They're infatuated with the ready-made product. And a lot of times we talk about this being the addiction to the system, right? The system in itself is very addictive because of the comfortability and the luxury that it provides, and the way that it writes up its legislation, or the way that the way that it puts things in writing is in a way where they can always throw stones and hide their hand. Right? Simple and plain. Let me get into this real quick. Boom. Oh no, that ain't it. Hold on, my fault. Move. Yeah, that ain't it. So yeah, in general, right? And I think a lot of times when we talk about how you disrupt what's going on around us, usually people talk about it in a way where they're trying to be as quiet as possible, you know, as cool as possible. They don't want, oh, here we go, right here. Right? They basically trying to be on their best behavior. Cool. Right? Cool. Problem is being on our best behavior doesn't have impact. And one of the things that we talk about in general, even if whether we're talking about our own independence and sovereignty, or independence, or like in the way in our own type of mindset, or we're talking about it in the light of the European, right? A commonwealth or whatnot. Either way that you look at it, anarchy and chaos is the only answer. Because what always happens is, right, you get people who basically see themselves as a separate identity, right? And once they believe in that, and then they start to move under that identity and start to put things in writing, when those things don't get respected, the next move is anarchy and chaos. And usually what you end up seeing is revolution or change come out of that. And so it's funny that we've seen, every time we've seen change in history, it's been chaotic, right? Anytime we've seen a shift in power, it took a it took total chaos in order to topple whatever regime or whatever archons was in charge at that time. And when we talk about revolution today, it seems to be talked about in a way as if we almost kind of think that we can evolve revolution in the way it plays out, right? We talk about revolution, but in a lot of ways we want to avoid the fire. Right. So now when we talk about a commonwealth, an independent country or community, right? Especially a democratic republic, a formal title of some of the states, right, in the US. So in a lot of ways, right, when you when you're just talking about a commonwealth in a lot of ways, you're not really talking about independence, right? In a lot of ways. So you'll see it here because in a lot of ways, when you're talking about just a commonwealth, you're supposed to be sovereign, independent, right? Outside of the current structure. It's supposed to be a difference in your politics, the economic system. You're literally supposed to be free. But when you look at how commonwealth work actually work out in the way that they are on paper, it's a state and a city or a community. It's still subordinate to the officials of the nation. You are still subject to the laws of the nation. And you can't create laws that contradict the national interest. So if you ask me, I think personally, building a commonwealth just sounds like you know what we already have now. We have thriving Black communities. We really do. I don't think that thriving Black communities is necessarily the answer. I think our issue is protection. And yeah, shout out to everybody in the building too. What's good with you, Arena? Black Sun in the building. Power to the dark side, Al Capone. What's good with you, Terry Smooch? Michael in the mix. What's good, God Body? Definitely. All right. So when you look at it, we have to think about what it is that Black people or that we want in general. Are we asking to just have our own city or community or state? Or are we asking to actually have independence, to actually become our own people under our own identity, where we're in control of our own where we're in control of our own uh you know judicial system, legislative system, uh our own economic system. Like, these are different ideas. What's good with you, Green? So to me, a lot of people, when they talk about it as far as, and see, and this is what's even crazy. When under a commonwealth, our subordinates would be under the very same people that we're even trying to separate from or gain independence from in the first place. The only thing it would do under our current situation is make us easier to pick off. Right? Now, if we're talking about a change and a shift in power, there's no way to get around making change and having a shift in power without causing chaos. You need anarchy. You can sign paperwork, you can have all of that. It sounds good and it looks good. But our problem ain't just local. Our problem is global. See, a lot of times people talk about our issues not being brought to the table globally, right, as human rights issues. But the issue ain't that it ain't being brought to the table as human rights issues. The world sees what the hell is going on. They don't see us as human. That's the issue. That's the issue. And the way that we act or react to situations, we don't act like we human. We play this game. A lot of times, I don't know if y'all remember when Solar would do he was talking about Darwinism and evolution, and how when they was talking about what is it, what's the law? I can't think of it, but basically, for survival or whatnot. Just talking about basically how the gazelles would go, or the antelope would basically go to the water every day, knowing that the lion was going to be there. You know what I mean? To pick one of them off. and it was never like a change or a shift. You know what I'm saying? Or like they never create new ideas. They just do the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? Basically waiting to get ate up by the lion and shit. And so, one of the, like, that's almost like black people in general. When you kind of look at how we kind of view, the system. We're never taking action. We always are reacting, and the way that we react is just like the damn gazelle going to the water hole. We don't change anything. We don't try to we don't really cause for shift in anything. And the part of the reason is because we don't really respect ourselves as humans. And that's the issue. What's good with you, J. Cal? Peace, God. We don't really respect ourselves as humans. A lot of the times we kind of say things that are cliche. We were all kings and queens. We all come from, royalty and all. Like, we say that shit. But I think we need to start first at just being human. Understanding that we not animals. And understanding that there is a line of respect globally that we not giving ourselves, and that's the reason why we don't demand it. Because if we really felt like we was human, we would demand. We ain't demanding shit. We walking around hoping that things will die down and move on. We walk every day to the water hole, hoping that the lion ain't finna jump out of the bushes and get me. Please, don't, as long as it ain't me and my kids. But we know every day we gotta go to this water hole, and we know every day the lions is gonna be there, and every day at least one of us, if not some of us, is gonna get picked off. They've almost reduced us to animals. At some point, we have to set a standard not only for America or for the world, but we first have to set the standard for ourselves of how we see each other, of what we are. Then what we demand, it automatically will come with repercussions. Because when we demand it and that line is crossed, we won't keep pulling the line back and we'll cross this one and then drawing another line across this one. No, it'll be one line drawn. And once it's crossed, then there's action. They're getting ready to run again. This whole George Floyd shit again. I don't want to hear that story no more. I keep telling y'all that. I don't want to see this nigga crying. That does nothing for black people's psyche in a positive manner, watching this nigga cry. Nor does it do anything for us globally watching this nigga cry. It just doesn't. That's not a sign of strength or authority or power. That's a sign of us at our weakest, bro. And we were okay with that image being global, going global. Because they were able to show and stage some protests of people acting like they was with us worldwide and shit. Look, even in China, their Black Lives Matter. Fuck out of here. No, they not. Take your ass to China and see if they Black Lives Matter or not. Give a fuck about that. They got Chinese problems to worry about, man. Niggas is playing games. It's like 1 billion. They showed you 100 out of like 1 billion Chinese people and told you that they was in support of Black Lives Matter. because of the George Floyd. Man, I guarantee, outside of that 100 people that you seen holding up a Black Lives Matter sign, the rest of them niggas was laughing. Like, what the hell is he doing? Crying like that. Then what the hell are they doing? But instead, our next move is to just hope that shit dies down and passes over. And that the next time that we go to the water hole, the lion doesn't jump on our neck. That's it. Now, a nation state or other political units such as, according to 1828 Merriam-Webster, one founded on law and united by compact or tacit agreement of the people for the common good. One in which supreme authority is vested in the people. Supreme authority is vested in the people. Now, is that even possible to happen here without anarchy? Based on the current system that we live in, where supreme authority is vested in the corporation. Shout out to Hood Therapy. Appreciate you in the building. Was good. Think about that. Is it possible for us to have a nation state here without anarchy, in which we have supreme authority, when the actual system is based on supreme authority being put in the hands of the corporation? Like Twitter, corporations like Facebook, corporations like, and see, this is where it gets even more wild, right? Because I'll tell y'all, as the metaverse becomes more, as more people begin to plug into the metaverse, right? And the metaverse becomes more like it kind of, as it continues to evolve into the world around you, right? Because that's really what's happening. It's kind of evolving into the world around you. Smart homes, smartphones, everything smart, right? As this kind of happens, and actually, let me hit a side note real quick, because this was very interesting. I walk into the store the other day, right? This is a gas station. The gas station got self-checkout now. And it was very interesting because the lady said it with an attitude. You can check yourself out right here. And I'm thinking in my head, like, you do know. I'm like, and this is how people think. They don't even if you like, I don't give a damn about this job. Like, well, damn, what about the next person? What about the next person? Like, what will you be there to do? It will only be people needed to maintenance and maintain the fucking machinery. Like, I'm watching somebody with an attitude say with authority, like, nigga, why don't y'all go through the damn self-check? I'm like, yo, it's only 2 registers. And think, when you walk into a gas station, 9 times out of 10 is 1 fucking register. One. So they already cut you down on a whole shift right there by cutting it down to just 1 register. Now you talking about adding in a self-checkout in a little ass gas station? I already showed y'all the statistics that came from the White House. Over 90, what was it, 95 to 98% of the jobs is finna be gone, taken by goddamn by AI. And niggas is happily like, yo, you gotta be, folks don't even realize that. people talk about getting taken. No, it ain't you getting taken over by no fucking AI. It's you losing your job to AI. People fail to realize that. So it's like, be kind of careful how happy you is to delegate your damn job off to machinery. Like me personally, if that was my job, I don't want the statistics showing that people are actually using this shit. I want it to be showing to be showed as useless. Get this shit up out of here, bro. You're gonna lose money with this. Not that it's gonna actually be able to replace you. But like I said, when you talking about a system that we in where the corporations is vested with supreme authority, there's no getting around, you know, the way that it, like in general, the currency, there's no getting around the judicial system, there's no getting around uh um and then there's really no getting around the fucking media. Like these are all things that gotta be like, we need complete chaos and anarchy. It's simple and plain, because not only do we have to disrupt, you know, some, like we got our own people who have to be disrupted. Because you got to think, a lot of times, a lot of us is in positions where we're on assignment against each other in our own better good, and just in general because of belief, you know, in the ideology of the system, because it comes with a strong ideology. You know what I mean? Like it's a strong ideology to be an American, and a lot of it is based on the different movies and shit, the Rockies. You know what I'm saying? Like, though that type of shit got hit from your fucking soul and shit. Like nigga running the stairs. Nigga, I even tried to drink damn egg yolk and I almost died on that shit, yo. Almost died trying to drink fucking egg yolks at the on some Rocky shit. Like, nah, man. That shit be running, that Americanism run deep to the point where the Olympics come around, you'll still kind of, you know, get behind, you know what I mean, that flag. And to me, we got to be careful with that, because the same way that we talk about the Confederate flag, to me, the American flag holds the same weight. I don't see the difference. Like, that's just me personally. Like, I don't, like, I get it, you know, yeah, fuck, yeah, why are we rocking with the Confederate flag? Cool. They lost. But nigga, we lost too. What the fuck is niggas talking about? What did we win? What did we win? Like, nigga, you talking like as if there wasn't slaves being under the American flag. Like, what kind of silly shit is this? And see, you got to be careful too, because what a lot of the conservatives like to do, they like to be real slick, right, when it comes down to that shit. Oh, well, you know, it was the damn Democrats. You gotta watch the conservatives. They real slick with that shit. You know, it was the damn Democrats that was fighting. Man, look, hey, hey, I don't give a fuck who was fighting to keep slavery or not. Who the fuck had slaves? Let's talk about that. Where were slaves at? Was it only Confederate states? Was it also states that was under the American flag? You tell me. You tell me. So no, there's no situation, number one, here on this soil with this current system, the current structure, and what we up against, that we'll be able to have a space where we're supreme authority and is vested in the people. No, that doesn't exist here, and that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be, according to the latest data, right? Have and have not, 99% as opposed to the 1%. The people who are vital to everyday infrastructure, right? The US poverty rate nationally is 13.4%. This means that 13.4% of the national population lives below the poverty line. This is equal to more than approximately 42.5 million people. Let's talk about the function, right? Now, according to Philpott Daniel, or Daniel Philpott, excuse me, sovereignty, right? So from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, fall of 2020, right? Metaphysics Research Lab, Stanford University, retrieved January 15th. Sovereignty is the supreme authority within a territory. Sovereignty entails hierarchy within the state, as well as external autonomy for the states. Now, is that possible? Here, without chaos? Hell no. Hell no. The moment that anything that we create or have contradicts anything, that's all automatically a problem. We know so you can't do that. There's no supreme authority here without chaos. Not for ourselves, not for poor people. Everybody knows this. Right? We even seen it. Think about this. They've been looking for, what's the dude for Satoshi, right? They've been looking for this Satoshi dude who created crypto for years. They trying to kill this dude. Like, y'all think shit is a game. You just seen the last dude that just made crypto. They got this nigga face that made a different type of crypto. They got his face all over the place. We don't know if any of that shit is true that they saying. We know that everyone, though, they seem to go for it. Notice the dude, the Satoshi, it was one dude that had the same last name as Satoshi. They thought it was him, to the point they folks had to donate like 30 million fucking bitcoins to the dude so he can damn disappear and shit, him with his family. Because like folks was thinking this nigga was the dude that created crypto. He ain't have nothing to do with it. Right? So don't think that folks is fucking playing with you right now. The system is not playing that wide open game, that free for everybody, that it's a what is it, what kind of market? A free market. Like, we're not playing this. There's not no goddamn free market. Ask Gaddafi if it's a free market. Gaddafi to use 7 billion in secret gold and silver to prop up a new African currency. It's according to Vice News. Right? Oops. Libyan oil, gold, and Gaddafi. And Gaddafi. The strange email Sidney Blumenthal sent Hillary Clinton in 2011. What's this shit? pretending like they was cool with this nigga the whole time and shit. One of Clinton's closest advisors passed her an intelligence report prepared by an ex-CIA official that speculated about French motivation for bombing Libya. And that's another thing. Niggas be letting the fucking French. The French is not our friend. Stop letting these niggas that talk that, well, yeah, we went to France and all of these niggas that moved to France and shit. Cool. Nigga, the French ain't our friend. The French is not our goddamn friend. Neither is the Dutch. Neither are the Germans. Like, let's quit. Like, come on now. Let's stop playing these dumbass games. Most of these places ain't even left. Right? They still in damn Africa and shit. Niggas be talking about post-colonial. What post-colonialism? Right? Let's keep going though. What was their motivation? All right. All of this bullshit, man. Come on. Right? The UN had let Iraq sell oil for euros and not dollars. Oh shit. Oh shit. So you telling me we can't sell oil? We supposed to have supreme authority, but we ain't gonna be able to sell oil under the black crypto. We can't sell and buy oil under some sort of black currency. Why not? United Nations. A UN panel on Monday approved Iraq's plan to receive oil export payments in Europe's single currency after Baghdad decided to move the start date back a week. They found them. Listen. Got this nigga Saddam out of a damn hole, bro. Look how they do Saddam. I don't know if that shit was real, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you as I look at this shit. How this shit look Photoshop? Who knows? How he was doing this, dude? Like, this some disrespectful shit. This some disrespectful shit. Like, could you think of the propaganda if this shit happened in reverse? If this shit happened, they would never let this type of, but see, they would never let this type of footage get out. Like, if this was in reverse and this was like a president and shit, they would fucking cut all service, nigga. You would not be able to see a thing. This will not be the image of the president right here, bro. I can promise you that. They will cut the lights before they let you see some shit like this. The only time they allowed you to see that is the one that you can always go back and look at. John F. Kennedy. And they want you to see that one. That's an example. They trying to let you know what time they on with that one. See, the John F. Kennedy is like, you can still watch that shit today. Like, think about all the shit that YouTube will not let you watch. All of the shit YouTube will not let you show. But you can always watch John F. Kennedy. Brains everywhere. They want the world to see that shit because that was a statement for everybody around the globe that if you talking about true independence, or you talking about anything that goes against this system, it's gonna take anarchy, nigga. That's what the fuck that message was. This could be you. This is like, period. They don't care who it is. So if they do that to the goddamn president, I don't know how the hell niggas think that they finna be moving without anarchy, without chaos, and you talking about getting power. Or maybe niggas don't really want power. You have to ask yourself that shit. Right? Now, when we talk about poor people, 42.5 million poor. That's a lot of fucking people. That's a lot of people. Right? Now, let's talk about U.S. code. This is 18 U.S. code 486. Uttering coins of gold, silver, or other metals. It's according to lawcornell.edu. Whoever, except as authorized by law, makes or utters or passes or attempts to utter or pass any coins of gold or silver or other metal or alloys of metals intended for use as currency or money. Period. Just period. Whether in the resemblance of coins of the United States or of foreign countries or of original design, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. Automatically an issue. So how do we even start talking about a goddamn currency when uttering some shit like that get your ass like real deal? And then think about it. What's good with the commish? What's good with your guy? Think about this shit. The nigga who made Bitcoin disappeared in order to keep his life. Who the hell is trying to kill this dude? To the point where a random dude with the last name Satoshi almost lost his life and his whole family. There's no getting around chaos. And see, this is what I be trying to tell y'all why. When you look at how the media operates, they try to control the chaos. This is why we always talked about total chaos. Total chaos. Because when it's controlled chaos, they not only control revolution, or excuse me, they not only control the narrative, but they able to control what revolution looks like. They control what you're satisfied with. They can show like, yeah, see, they're happy now. It's over. But see, with total chaos, there's no controlling the narrative. There's no controlling, there's no way to spin total chaos. Right? Because like I said, there's an algorithm for everything. They put everything in the computer and they run out 1 billion algorithms of what all of the possibilities, what all could happen, that it could be a detriment to this system and society and the way that it functions. They already had that shit mapped out. So if you thinking you finna sit down and fucking plan some shit, you out of your mind, nigga. It's going to be total chaos, period. And you only got so much time. Like, the fucking clock is ticking. We're almost like waiting for them to be able to fully, like, niggas will talk about the chip. But like, nigga, are you waiting for the chip, or is you gonna fucking disrupt some shit before we get there? Because nigga, once the chip, the way you niggas talk about it, is enacted, nigga, it's a wrap. It's a fucking wrap, nigga. So either technically we need to be prepared for this chip that niggas is talking about that's coming, or we need to be disrupting shit before they able to even get it out there. But either way it go, nigga, we need to take action. We can't be fucking reactionary to everything. You niggas is talking about a foolproof plan. Talking about we gonna be, and then not even talking about being reactionary. Niggas is talking about nigga after 7 years, nigga. Well, it's supposed to be 7 years, but God gonna take back on the fourth year, nigga, and you know, then the chip will be gone, nigga. You gonna like, man, get the fuck out of here. And niggas need to stop stunting like they ain't gonna take it. Like, bro, just like you took the credit card, you took the social security card, you took every nigga, when it come down to going to work and feeding yourself and your family, nigga, you gonna take the chip. Quit bullshit. Quit bullshit. I'm telling you right now. So stunting and pretending like, yeah, you know, what are you gonna like, nigga? If you talking about being reactionary to this market of beast or this chip or whatever the fuck is coming, you might as well go ahead, bro, and roll your orange sleeve up, or tell them point to right between your eyes where you want it. I'm telling you right now. I don't believe you. Niggas is all of a sudden gonna start to have a revolution when it comes to the chip. But nigga ain't got no fucking revolution for grandmama getting beat, stripped, and assaulted and shit. There ain't no revolution for that. But all of a sudden niggas gonna get heart and shit when it come down to the chip. Now the chip is here. Bitch, please, nigga. Who you playing with? They ain't even thought about no get back for grandma and shit. But he gonna ride when the chip get here. No, you not. You gonna go to work as usual, nigga, the next day. Chipped up. Niggas gonna be putting that shit in rap songs and shit. How they got chipped up. How fast they you know, how easy they spinning. How unlimited they, you know what I mean, they got it and shit. Once they do that, nigga, you gonna be, niggas gonna be chipped up, nigga. Listening to Young Thug rap about that shit when he get out. Playing. Niggas is gonna be chipped up. I'm telling you. That should be sounding good. Niggas ain't rolled for grandma yet, though. And if you do ride for Jesus, nigga, you need to be ashamed of your fucking self. I wish a nigga would die for Jesus and ain't died for grandma yet. Niggas is sick, bro. So let's talk about it. Because we talk about poor people, right? Who all is included, right? Now, let's talk about in that 42.5 million, would you guess that the police would be involved in it? Yes, police pay gap. Many of Americans finance struggle on poverty wages. Around the U.S., some police officers earn comfortable middle-class wages, while others scrape by on poverty or near poverty pay. Just keep cooking. The Bureau of Labor Statistics figures shows that at least 1 in 10 police officers earn less than 15 fucking dollars an hour. This the nigga that gotta show up to danger. Facts. Most niggas is getting the goddamn chip, man. Moving on with their life. Niggas don't want no friction. Niggas gotta move on with their day. That's why I thought about that shit. What I look like trying to rock against the chip with everybody else, nigga finna show up to work. It's just like when a nigga get fired and shit. Niggas finna watch your ass leave out, walk out, quiet in a mug, and then get right back to work like you was never there. Stop playing. But even when we talk about poor people in general, it's not like we got something to be afraid of, because when we talk about people being sick and tired of the system, it's the majority. It's the majority. And really what's disappointing is when you look at who's the face of like fighting for the system and keeping the traditions alive and really believing in voting, and it's black people. Like, that's the only people really still pushing this shit is black people. And it's just almost like a fucking, like, wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. Because our issue, I thought was already recognized, that we have an issue with the system. Today we live in a day where white people have an issue with the system. And black people are sitting their ass around upholding this shit. Like, I don't really understand what's going on. Because if you think that, even let's talk about the police, right? And we got 1 in 10 earning less than $15 a damn hour. So this is the labor force, right? Now, we could talk about a quarter of the police in all of America. January 6th. Anybody remember what happened on January 6th? Gonna drop it right now. Does anybody remember what the fuck happened on January 6th? This is where it gets really disrespectful. White people did some shit niggas should have did a long goddamn time ago. See, they already knew the system was a wrap. They already knew it. These folks said, hey man, I'm looking around and everywhere I look, I'm getting taken advantage of. How the hell do we allow, and see, our only answer for the reason why we ain't did no shit like this is because we would have been killed. Yeah, dumbass. Some of us gonna have to fucking die to make impact. If you think that the move for us to have an impact on our actual independence and our actual revolution ain't gonna require death, niggas is silly.
Peace. What's going on, Blue?
What's good with your God? Peace, peace.
Chilling. I just wanted to add something real quick. You know, you were saying, like, you know, the people that is like pushing the system now are black people, and white people are against the system. Well, they believe that there is an agenda to destroy America, and they believe that these international bankers and these people, you know, that's part of this Bilderberg group, they think that this 1% that controls, you know, the banks and the media, they believe that they are bringing down the value system of America using, like, you know, black people, feminism, and the LGBTQ community. So that's like one of the theories that's out there. So this is why they protect those groups of people. This is how they feel. So, you know, empowering black people to, you know, by highlighting certain things like with the police brutality, it's just all designed to create disorder. So black people feel like you know, the people that believes in this, you know, democratic Republican system, and you know, they believe that they have to fight the good fight in America and strive for equality still. So you have this back and forth going on with liberals and conservatives, and black people are on the liberal side, so they have to rock with the LGBTQ and feminism. You know, it's just like all a package deal.
And see, that's dangerous, bro.
And
Like, really,
the conservatives, they want to stick to traditional American values, but they still have like racist undertones within their rhetoric.
right. And see, all it is that conservatives are blatant and liberals don't like blatant racism. But what's weird about it is that most liberal states don't even fucking like black people. They treat us some of the worst ways that you ever seen. Think about where most of the shit that happens at, where your fucking human rights is violated at. It's in mostly liberal states. Right? They can just pull you over, fucking pull you out your shirt, take pictures of you, make you turn around, take another picture of you, take your do-rag off, take a picture of you, run your name a fucking 1,000 times. Like, nah. The liberal, and that's what's wild, right? Oregon was one of the places that was built specifically, right? This is a liberal state built specifically though for white people. To the point they had a law, bro. Any black person that was there, bro, you got whooped daily until you left. Like liberal countries and shit. So I'm like, bro, we be letting the liberal shit. These motherfuckers hate us just as much. It's the same, like niggas is, and you can tell because when they just a lot slicker. See, the liberals is slicker with the pen. They pen game is on point. So it's almost like they'll write in some shit where, yeah, like the game is like they with you, but then they sucking you in because the people who gonna benefit the most is gonna be, like you said, LGBT. It's gonna end up being white women. It's gonna be other minorities. Before we even fucking benefit on the shit, we was out on the front line for it. Same thing we see with it. And see, that's why it's tough because you'll hear, and mostly it'll come from like niggas that's conservative. It'll be like, yeah, we need to get rid of affirmative action. And in a way, it to me, it's like, yeah, because in a lot of ways, we kind of ain't benefiting from the shit. And then when you look at it, it almost works like when you look at the Rooney Rule in the NFL, where they can just fucking go through the motions of bringing you in for the interview when they know they ain't got no intentions of hiring your ass in the first fucking place. So yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. They the system only could be as good as the people running it. So that's why, you know, they could pass any law they want, but then you see what they're doing, you know what I'm saying, what they got court doing, and you know what they, you know, so it's just like you know, all those elements are still there. And the blacks are, since they as a group felt as though they made some progress and get a little more respect, they just buying into the American shit, and they feel as though this is all we really have. You know, a lot of people don't really know. So yeah, they're gonna use black people to push this agenda even further. So that's why it's like contradictions. Like they want the black community to be in shambles, you know, to justify their decision making. So you got these black groups like Black Lives Matter and you know and speak out against police brutality, but then they don't really talk about black on black crime. So a conservative would take that and then use that as a talking point. So it's almost like with each side is definitely holes in how they conduct themselves or what they do systemically. But it's all designed that way just so they can have chaos and disorder. They want to control the disorder. You know what I mean? So, a lot of things that is being done is got to be justified.
Right. Because
So
they know that they can't stop chaos. They know they can't stop really but what they want to do is try to control the narrative. Like, they want to try to see how much they can control the bleeding and shit.
Yeah. And that's just the way they have trouble learning, like you say, when it's done that way. You know what I'm saying? We talked about the thing with hip hop, and they first had to get explanation as to what breakdancing was. You know what I'm saying? It took a black person to really like put it down, all the elements of a b-boy and a dancer and a rapper. And once they are able to understand the rules of it, then they could actually mimic. It's almost like a reptilian type of energy, with the mimicking. So
Right. And that's why they gonna write it down. You know what I mean? They had they gotta see the math. Like, we just do the math. We live the math. You know what I mean? They gotta like fucking write it down and see it. You know what I mean? In a way. So yeah, that is wild though, man. But that's why I say, man, and the only way to kind of get around it is that, because even now, it's people that still think things is going back to normal. And at one point they was preparing for the worst. And it's like now we're just kind of like we've been lulled back to sleep. All good. We've been, we've been lulled back to sleep. I don't think there's any way possible, period, that we get around any sort of revolution without having total chaos that the very people or we'll say the very system that we're up against can't control. We have to be able, like, the disruption has to be, we have to disrupt entertainment, media. Like, this is all a part of the warfare. This is all a part of it. We can pretend like it's not, but at the end of the day, and this is why I say, like, when we look around social media, this is Black people in control of their own narrative, of their own propaganda. And look at what we choose to produce. Look at what we choose to produce. In control of our own propaganda, our entertainment looks the same as the very entertainment that we complain that the people up top produce. The way that we do media, it looks the same as the people up top. it's hard for you to see the line between us, and this is the scary part, because it's like maybe we haven't really realized what is our full potential with social media right now. But we're producing the very fuck shit that we complain about mainstream producing, right? Um, in boxing, there's a term that we call new media, right? And in boxing, the reason why it's called new media is because when you look at how the YouTubers and the social media platforms in boxing that are black and how they produce their media, it's in opposition of what they call old media or mainstream, right? So when and this is something that our side of YouTube can learn a lot from. If you go and look at a Dante's Boxing Nation, or you go and look at a Boxing Ego, the way that they're doing producing media and the way that they talk about it, it's in opposition from mainstream media. It's in opposition to HBO. It's in opposition to ESPN. It's in opposition to Showtime. But then when you look at us on this side, and some of us supposed to be conscious, or some of us supposed to be leaders, and we talk about black content and you know all of this, our shit resembles Fox. It resembles CNN. It resembles um, our entertainment. Even the people who may do entertainment for us on social media. It's the same jokes that you get from Comedy Central. It's the same it's the same type of vibe that you got from BET. It's the same vibe that you get from the radio. It's like the same shit. It's the same shit. To the point where it's like we have to get around being politically correct, because the media is never see, the way that they handle it is politically correct, but the imagery is never politically correct. It's biased. It's always biased towards you. The narrative is always biased towards you. Whether they trying to show you as the victim, or they trying to show you, or they trying to show you as the animal, it's still biased towards you. See, you got Fox, who produces you, who tries to show your image as the animal, uncontrollable. And then you have CNN, who tries to portray you as this victim. Our media, our entertainment, all of that has to be different. It can't just not only be different, it has to be in opposition of CNN. It has to be in opposition of Fox. It has to be in opposition of MSNBC, in opposition of Martin, in opposition of fucking Tyler Perry. Our entertainment has to be in opposition of Desperate Housewives of Atlanta. We can't produce the same thing in control of our own media and then complain about what mainstream produces. We producing the same shit. They're putting the gun in our own hand. Look at what we allow to go viral. They put the gun in our hand and a whole damn gender war then damn got started. Niggas, cause niggas is playing fucking game. A whole gender war. All because of who we choose and how we direct, like we're falling into the game. You gotta remember, one of the things that got Facebook in trouble is that they constantly was feeding people negativity to keep them addicted to the app. Remember that. Remember that. So even your response, and that's what, if y'all don't even remember, the fucking manosphere and his goddamn uh I don't know, divested sex. These people existed for years. We just never fucking knew about them. They've been existed. We're new to that whole sector. Why did they blow up? Because we gave them we fed into that negative energy and we were trying to answer it. That's all they need you to do. That's what Facebook was there for. That's why it was sending you negative shit so you would respond to it. I'm not saying that you don't respond to things, but some shit is just too outrageous. You don't even respond. Some shit you don't give life to or energy to. We're responsible for giving life to abort black babies. We spoke that. We had an opportunity to kill that, to squash any energy that was around that. What's good, Nika? We have the opportunity to squash any of that. Chose not to. We gave it life and energy. We had to respond, even knowing that that was a ridiculous extreme that really was no threat. We made it a threat. So that's why I tell you, it's easy to respond to things that make you angry, but all things don't deserve your energy. I think more so now we created a problem, and a lot of people did it for clout. The whole passport dudes and all of that, like, yo, we gave these niggas energy trying to go and answer them, respond to their foolishness. You ain't got no business over there. Zero. We have zero business over there. They don't talk about the shit that we talk about. They not moving in the direction that we moving in. They not, like, we ain't got no business over there. We in two different places. We had two different conversations. But there's an urge inside because a lot of time negativity touches the ego. That's what happened. A lot of times your negativity ends up touching the ego. And every time it does, it make you feel like you just have to respond. I gotta respond. I gotta respond. They said I ain't shit. I gotta respond. Everything doesn't need your energy. You got to understand your energy brings life. You got the power to give life. Every time you add your energy to something, you give it life. You give it existence. You start giving it flesh. You start breathing air into it. You actually end up manifesting it because you just gotta respond to the negative. This is the part of building and mastering the ego. All good. Definitely appreciate you. Definitely. You have to master the ego because it is important. It's important to have. But you gotta understand when some shit is just too ridiculous for you to even give it any sort of life. No, you have the power to do that. I told y'all I told y'all 3 years ago when we started the dark side that they were going to give it life, that they would bring so much energy to it that it would be global. I told y'all that we was already in the millions. Y'all didn't believe me. I told y'all that. Just watch as it continues to manifest. The more people will speak against it, the more life that they will give it. They don't even understand that. It was put out. See, the dark side wasn't even made for you, nigga. It was made for the generations after. It was just the seed that you was gonna water with your hate. You would try to water it with hate. See, you thought you was just gonna bring hate, but all it was doing was actually watering the seed that was planted. That's all you was doing. They gave it energy. Because to them it was so ridiculous. And their ego just wouldn't allow them not to respond. So what did they do? They gave it the breath of life. They blasphemed Stemia so much that I guarantee Stemia exists in their mind now. I guarantee it. And you can see it. They manifest a war against Stemia. Now Stemia exists. This is something that will continue to grow long after we gone. Because it wasn't just the movement itself, it was the consciousness behind the movement. That's the difference. It's a consciousness that goes with the ideology of the dark side. And it's the only consciousness that exists that is fully for Black people. Everything else has something to it. Where your fucking hair used to match your eyebrows. All of it. Go listen to them. At the end of the day, their message for how they depict themselves as separate from Africans is that their hair used to match their goddamn eyebrows. All of them is on some tribal Shabazz shit. All of them. That's the unique part about the dark side. The only sector that ain't on that tribal Shabazz shit. It's not embedded in our doctrine anywhere. It's not embedded in the DNA. It's the exact opposite. What we built was in direct opposition to mainstream thought, to mainstream religion, to mainstream consciousness. It's a easy. That's why I say it's an easy cure. It's very easy. We have to change our first change has to be the way that we view black, the way that we view blackness, the way that we view darkness. As black people and as dark people on the planet, we have to change our subconscious way of looking at dark and black. We can no longer attach it to evil and wicked. That is counterproductive for blackness and black people. It's counterproductive. Everything that we do, that we're in control of, has to be in opposition of mainstream. Because everything that mainstream produces is in opposition of you and your image and how you're portrayed to the world, whether it be as an animal or as the victim. It's counterproductive. But since we gained control over our own media, the only thing that has been proven or that we've been able to show is that we're either brainwashed or we're just willing to fucking sell black people up the river for clicks and views. I keep telling y'all, it's easy to find. You can easily find negative images and videos and stories from all, like, this is a big place, right? America is a huge place. Every day, you could probably produce 10 to 20 stories again that portray black people in a negative light every day. Every day, it's easy. You go and find a story of some dude maybe setting his hold on of some dude maybe setting car on fire, wife on fire, something like that. You can find something where the woman and then drown the kids. You can always, like, every day you can find something. If you're looking for something negative about black people, it's out there. You can produce it on your channel daily and probably get clicks and views. But my thing is that that's no different than what Fox and CNN is going to do. So where is the revolution? We looking at media and entertainment as a small part or as some sort of game, and we not understanding the weapon that it is when we in warfare. We not getting and this is a weapon that you now have access to. You have to use it properly. You just have to. And we haven't taken advantage of the weapon. The first part of our revolution is gonna have to be what we deal with in the mind. It's gonna have to be a shift of the consciousness. It has to be. That being said, remember, if you are listening to this together, we are Babel. Let's build. I appreciate everybody that showed up today. Appreciate everybody that hit the Cash App. Definitely. I guess y'all. I don't mention everybody's names because I know shit be shit kind of up right now. So appreciate everybody who does and all of that. Once again, we're gonna give a special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEMU, whose image is the most beautiful Whoopi Goldberg.
Ryu, this is crazy.
たった一つたった一つのたった一人たった一人の私はここ
Reparations on the table, nigga, we ain't seen shit. Put us under pressure, nigga, we ain't even sweat. Came out shining like a diamond in the middle, what's a mess? On Martin Luther King, bitch, we coming for a check. Headed to the Capitol to stake my feelings in the mind of a radical, you can't ride with me. I'm my only witness when I handle my business. Pull it from their hips, say bye-bye, Billy. No more time for no coasting, I'm on the highway focused. I ain't even smoking, I'm just riding my emotion. Both eyes open, I'm just trying to keep calm. Put an extra set of eyes on them doing recon. Knee deep in snow, say you try and keep going. Told him get up out the cold before my nigga deform. Every old wound seem to getting retorn. I'ma write deep poems to a nigga reborn. I'ma make a statement before I make it out alive. No Channel 5, I would rather make a lie. Before the news try to make a nigga out alive. But the pain in my eyes on a much bigger prize. 5-0 on both hands in the sky. Little do they know it's no plan to survive. I ain't finna give them no chance to decide. I'ma put they feet in both hands in the fire. Dancing in the fire like Eshak. You gon' test the water, never get both feet wet. We done overexposed the city defense to the overexposure indecent. They don't know they diving in the deep end. Ain't no way that they surviving through the weekend. Everything blown in the flash like a beacon. Drowned in the flames, it's too late to let it sink in. Got 10 ways I can be vengeful. Sitting on 10 grenades, every last pinful. This guerrilla war, they don't know what they in for. I can hear them at the door trying to move in slow. I can hold them off, I got 3 shots. Taking every soul for at least 3 blocks. I can smell the fire burning through the sheetrock. Seeing bodies in the flame, nigga try and reach out. This is how you practice what you finna speak out. Thinking about the facts that they try to leave out. This is for my roots running through the deep south. Dying for a cause, what we finna beef out. If you ain't about the cause, what you finna beef out. Showing up deep, we gon' bring the streets out. Every man line up, showing what your street out. An independent state, what a nigga need now.
たった一人たった一人の「